Welcome to HubSpot with Paragon Questions Edition. Today our question comes from the KW Hour. My construction company works with vendors to purchase materials for projects I sell. So I would create a new company for those entities, of course, and create contacts I work with in that company. Where I'm confused is where do I put my customers? I want to take them from proposals to signed contract, where they are now a client that I'm doing a construction project for. And we'll be able to assign tasks to that project through completion. Are they a contact or a company? Great question. Let's take a look over here at HubSpot real quick, and we need to kind of differentiate a couple of items. First off, contacts are always can always be associated with a company in some way, shape, or form, and you can have multiple contacts associated with a company. A company can have a parent and child associated with it, and then basically from there, those two objects will then need differentiation or filters to be able to pull out which one is customer or which one would be a client or a partner or a vendor. So we want to be able to create some list associated with this. So what I've gone and done is I have taken and created a couple of property filters that I think will help. And so we're going to look at properties first. So this is what you would need to create. You need to create a property that would be in the contact property. So when you create property, you'll select contact property. When you do this for the company, you'll do it in the company property. And what I've essentially created is a field that is called kind of like a contact type is what I called it. So I've got contact type here. This is what I created as a field. There is a life cycle field that's already in here that says, like, you know, but they don't technically push whether or not they are a vendor or a partner. So I've created a specific property and added in these labels for vendor and for partner and prospect and customer. And so what you'll need to do is that when you select someone that is a new contact, you need to select whether or not they're a customer, prospect, vendor, or partner. Now I've made this a drop-down select, but you could change it to a multiple checkboxes because you could have somebody that could be a prospect and a partner, or a customer and a prospect. Maybe it's for a new deal, or a customer and a vendor. Maybe they buy from you and you sell to them. Okay, so if that's the case, I would make it a multiple checkboxes, meaning that you could select both. Okay. Now I've done the same thing for deal properties, or for company properties, sorry. And in company properties, I've put, it is a company type, is what I've called it. So we'll find that here. So company type, and it has the same labels: customer, prospect, vendor, and partner. Now, what you can do with these now is I can associate these with a contact or with a company, or both if I wanted to. You may have to put some automation behind this that says if a company is a partner, that any contact associated with it would be marked as a partner as well. So let's just go, we need to make one more adjustment. I need to make sure that these get put on my record views on the left-hand side of what you would see, and that's over here where I'm adjusting it. So within these labels, I need to add in that contact information that I just created, which is that contact type. So I'm going to go ahead and add that, brings it here to the bottom. I'm going to just drag it up to make it easier to see in my items. All right. Okay, so I have contact type there. And then I'm going to save this. And then I'm also going to go over to my company records, and I'm going to edit those as well. And I'm going to mark those with a company type that I've created. So come down here and find company type, add it to the record, and I'll move it up as well. So we've got it here, company type. Awesome. We're going to save that. And then one other thing that you may want to change is, in general, when you're looking at contacts and companies here, you click here on the left-hand side, and these are the things that you'd see on the contact record. So we've kind of already added that, but this would also see when you're creating a contact. So I would like to add this as a default, so that contact type, look, it added it in here for me because I already had it on the record, so it's going to show up here. So we're going to save that. We're going to go over to companies and do the same thing. I'm going to use those default, and it should have company type right there. Perfect. So now when I'm creating either one of those, it will pull up and say, what type is it? So I'm going to come over to my contacts now. And I've got Peter Jenkins. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Peter Jenkins here. And I now need to select that Peter Jenkins is a specific contact type. So I'm going to say that he's a customer. And I'm going to save that. But the company that he's associated with, this test company, also needs to be selected as a customer. Okay? Now, when I go into view my contacts, I can set up a filter. Create a new view here. I'm going to call this customers. And I'm going to create a filter associated with it that says if the contact type, let's find that here. Whoop, I went too far. Contact type is customer. That's what I want to see. I'll apply that filter. And now I've got a list, and I can pin it here if I want. And I got a list all my, so I can look at all my contacts, or I can look at all my customers. And right now I've got one. And so I can save this, and I can do the same thing for companies as well. I can create a view and add a new view, call them customers, so on and so forth. And then I can create those same views for vendors, for partners. And then when I'm working in deals, now, when I'm working with a contact, I'm going to put that in here as a deal, and they'll be listed as the contact or the company that is associated with that deal. So if I had contacts or companies associated with this, I would add them here, or when I create it, they would automatically get connected to this. Hopefully that helps answer your question. I think there's probably a little bit more depth to it because you're trying to create some scenarios with those companies and contacts when you're in a deal or a project that you're working on. And if you wanted to know if they were a prospect or a customer, you just have to delineate that here, maybe on the contact record or the company record as to who they are. But hopefully this gives you a starting run. Please feel free to ask additional questions, and I'll see what I can do to help.